Come in. Who's there?
There's always somebody in the crowd, right? Well, good evening and welcome to April, everybody, to the Omaha Astronomical Society. Hey. You notice the room has changed if you were here previously. These are the new tables. It's a rather interesting setup that we have going. Take a moment. So if you are joining us remotely, if you got headphones, please use them. And remember to mute your microphone when you're not speaking. That way we're not getting feedback audio. If you don't want it to be seen, you can mute your video. The famous Monty Python video, How Not to Be Seen, if you've seen it. And when we do motions during business meeting for members, you can unmute and state your name or say aye. Do we have any? I think we've got guests tonight. All the guests here, raise your hands.
John?
Yes, sir.
Audio is a little loud.
It's a little hot.
Yeah.
No, it isn't. You're fine.
It's just cricket up at the end.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's what happens when you have sound engineers in the room, ladies and gentlemen.
If it's your
Never
first
mind.
meeting or.
Yes, so if you aren't guests, if your first meeting, go ahead and. Okay, wow.
We got a bunch.
Wow.
Better get names.
Okay, we'll start over here. Introduce yourselves.
I am Tony Syracuse.
Welcome, Tony.
How did you hear about us?
Oh, yeah. How did you hear about us? That'll be one of the questions I'll ask. Thank you. Thank you, Kelly.
Yes, very good. Thank you.
Trying to find something for my son, Michael. I'm Colleen.
Hi, Colleen.
His
I'm
wife.
Michael Syracuse.
Hi, Michael.
Son.
And I was
Michael
looking
is,
up-
yeah.
he's really into.
This is something you thought I'd be checking it out.
Great.
Looking for fellowship with people that have a similar interest to mine.
Oh, there's certainly a lot of that here. Well, welcome. How did you hear about us? Like website or
Shit on my-
search? Good. It's working.
John, you may need to turn up the room mics. It's hard to hear the audience, or you might need to do some repeating.
Okay.
You're
got
loud and
two
clear,
mics.
but the room kind of got a little bit quieter here in the last 5 minutes.
Oh, you just got quiet too. That's my mic.
1, 2,
Check.
Check.
check,
Checks him in.
Can you hear Louis speaking?
checking.
Yes,
Okay.
Hi, my name is Mike.
Combined power of all of our sound engineers. So welcome. Here,
Dave and Claudia Jackman, we just heard about this on the internet search, so.
great. Well, welcome.
Thank you.
You're a member. It's your first time here though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, my name's Ruby. Well, I heard about it because I work with a really cool guy that likes astronomy.
Well, great.
He talks about it a lot.
I may talk about it. Oh, welcome, Ruby. Here,
We are Mark and Cynthia Sheldon, and we've been to some of the outings before at Zorinsky and Mahoney and Flanagan, and just love looking at the sky.
great. Well, that's what we do, whether it's during the day or at night.
Oh, I'm Keely.
Hi, Keely. How did you hear about us? That guy? Tom Wilson? I just saying that over so that people know that she pointed at Tom Wilson.
And he's here.
For those at home who can't see the video.
Person. He's here.
Great. Yeah. 3D.
Yeah. So were you guests too, or you been here before?
No, we're actually members. We've been out here before.
Okay, great. Hey, did I call on everybody? Anybody in the chat?
no one's stepping forward in the chat.
Okay. Well, if you do decide to become members, our treasurer is right over there. He'll raise his hand. Ta-da. When you become a member, you also become a member of the Astronomical League. It's like a nationwide, it's gonna be almost international coming up soon. And they have a quarterly
Right here.
magazine called The Reflector. There's a lot of articles in there about the various clubs around the country and various events that come up, as well as like listings of awards that people have gotten. You do get access to Astro Park, which is our little dark site, so to say, down near Weeping Water, Nebraska. You'll have to hear about some of that later on. We did a lot of cleanup this last weekend. You would almost not recognize it. We do have a wonderful telescope loan program. So we have a number of telescopes that you can try if you don't have one to see what they're like, or try a different one than the one you have to see if that's more to your liking, those different ones. We do have a monthly newsletter called the Stella, which has a lot of information and articles, as well as about the meeting information. We do have Discord. So Michael, if you use Discord, we've got that. And yeah, that's pretty much it. No questions, that's great. Upcoming important dates, Astronomy in the Parks is on Tuesday, Earth Day on the 22nd. And Sunday Science with Bad Astronomer Phil Plate is April 23rd, 4 p.m. at Site One Brewing, 25th and Farnham.
Free tickets, but you have to register.
You have to register for free tickets for that.
And in person?
I believe so,
Yes.
yes.
No, he'll be there.
No Zoom. He'll be there. He's coming into town. Oh,
Mike, you want to explain to some who Phil.
Phil Plate he started a blog called The Bad Astronomer. Or Bad Astronomy, is it? Bad Astronomer. He also had a book of the same name after a number of years. He's a science communicator, pretty well known in the YouTube circles, and he's done several conventions and things like that. He's a pretty cool dude. The Omaha Astronomical Society, I said we're a member of the Astronomical League. They have various chapters around the country. And we're part of what's known as the Mid-States region of the Astronomical League. We just call it MISRAL. So if you hear someone say MISRAL, it's we're not misery or whatever that is, MISRAL. But they have like a message group on groups.io, and that's what that is. We're also part of NASA's Night Sky Network. So a lot of clubs kind of use that as a communication tool. We just use that, so if people are trying to find us on the internet, that's one of the tools that we use. And we do have a fan shop on OAS's website, which allows us to do things like stickers and these kind of wonderful things. So like if you wanted to buy one or a t-shirt, you could. So on the website, you click on club information and click on fan shop. Have anybody used Astro Park in the last month? One? Not counting Saturday, right? Because that was the first, okay. I think we had some more. I didn't get a chance to check the book, but
Yeah, I didn't look to see, sorry.
that's okay. I'll just put one for now. Awards chair. Hello.
She's got some.
There's awards. I'm ready. I'm gonna have you speak into this thing. Go in front of the table. You can be on the camera.
My favorite thing, speaking in front of a crowd. Hello. Hi, I'm Kelly Larson, our awards chair. Is this okay right here?
Yep.
Okay. So we do have a couple of awards tonight. And they're both outreach awards that we have. Outreach is a really important part of the club. It's where members will participate in like the public star party nights, where they might bring out a telescope or talk to the public about astronomy. It doesn't take, serious expertise, but a lot of some of our club members do have some knowledge that they share, which we really, really appreciate. It's one of the most important parts of the club. And so the first one we have to present is to Allison Bear. Is Allison- Award and a pin. So Louis does us the great honor of taking our picture. So I know, we'll put this down. Thank you.
Oh, boy, Joe, I gotta tell you that. You need to fluff your hair, Kelly.
Thank you, Louis. Thank you so much for all your contributions to the club. We so appreciate it. And this is right here. It's small. You can't really see it very well, but you too can be the proud recipient of an award and a pin. It's a minimum. Thank you. Thank you. John, so
You should still be able to hear it through that.
Oh.
This just makes me louder, or the person louder.
Pardon me, I'm not super loud naturally. You too can be the proud recipient of an outreach award. The basic award is a minimum of 5 events, minimum of 2 hours per event. So it's a pretty minimal, but is a really important investment into our group and our fun. So we have actually a second outreach award to give. Okay. Second one happens to be, or as somebody earlier said, a really cool guy who knows a lot about astronomy. And also contributes a lot to our club. But we finally turned in his spreadsheet for outreach hours, and ta-da, John Larson has an outreach award.
The first level.
First year.
This is my spreadsheet from 2017.
Yikes.
Okay.
Thank you, John.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
My first award, actually, my very first award. I need to get some point. I put it in your capable hands. Observing chair.
Includes writing an article.
Gotta get your.
Yeah, I did. Yeah. It's not gonna be hard.
All right, so April. We have some planets that are visible. Of course, Saturn is in the morning, but in the evening, there's Venus, Mercury, and Mars. The moon is out and you can see, if you've never looked at Mercury before, it's next to the crescent moon on the 21st of April. And if you keep watching the evening sky, you will see Venus as it moves between the Pleiades and Hyades and then makes its way to Gemini. So that's actually pretty cool to watch in the evenings. Mars still visible also in Gemini, Neptune early AM and Uranus in the evenings. You really need a dark sky or no smoke or clouds like we have now to see some of these planets. Full moon was on April 5th. It was called a pink moon. Since it reached full moon at 11:34 p.m. So if you look at different sources on the internet, depending on whether you're on the East Coast or whether you're in the Midwest, the full moon was either on April 6th or April 5th. That's one of the differences. New moon again on April 19th. And April is the time for the Lyrid meteor showers, anywhere from April 15th to the 29th, peak around 21 to 23rd. At its peak, you might see 10 to 15 per hour. It's from Comet Thatcher, which I don't think any one of us will see in our lifetimes. It has a period of 417 years, and it was last seen in 1861. And its next swing around the sun is going to be in 2283. Yeah, and that's all I have for tonight.
Thank you, Tony. You know, thinking of the meteor shower, the 21st is a Friday. I know that Earth Day is that Saturday, the 22nd, but if the weather's clear, maybe you could drive out to Astro Park and look for meteors.
Close to New Moon.
Yeah. So, not that often we get new moon near a meteor shower that. Yes. Outreach, co-chairs. You gonna do rock, paper, scissors? He's typing, so it looks like it's you.
Since I wasn't here last month, if you.
Just chosen to like.
No, we can do it, tag team. Who gets to hold the mic?
Oh.
You'll talk last.
No, but you know, that's the classic thing.
I like to move around, so.
The teacher went along.
Man of action.
Okay, all right.
Yep.
You got it up here? Okay, first on our list is our second Tuesday of the month at Lake Zorinsky. That is the next Tuesday. And we'll probably start about 8 o'clock. You know, the sunset's coming much later. If it's clear, come on out and join an in-town star party. And we've had, we get good turnout from members, and that's kind of, it's kind of like an in-reach thing too. I hesitate ever to really put it out unless I know at least for a couple of days that it's really going to be a nice night. Because TV media, they get a hold of it and we may get inundated, so I'll just kind of play it by ear as far as how many people or how much we spread it, but it's a good time of year, so we may try some. Burke, we've been working with Darren Rosenberg over at Burke, trying to get some more astronomy activities going there. And so we're going to try Thursday night then, the 13th. And I'll let you talk a little bit about the program.
Yeah, so there's something that NASA put together called Big Astronomy, and it's I think it's about a 25-minute video presentation, and they have a full dome version of it for the planetarium. So Burke has their planetarium that they're gonna do the show in, and then we'll also go outside to one of the fields and do some observing, kind of 2 sessions. And we'll switch back and forth. It goes from like 8 to 9:30 or something like that. I think is what. Oh, 8 o'clock, 8 to 9.
I just put
8 to 9:30. I mean, 9:30 is probably depending on when they feel they need to
Yeah,
wrap things up there.
We're gonna set up, I think it's 7:30 for any volunteers that wanna come and need maybe 1 or 2 people that could help in the planetarium just to guide people around, give them some extra volunteers. When we did the comet viewing party and it was like 7 degrees out, there was we had a ton of kids and some of their parents. I think it's open to, it's more than just the Burke Club. It's open to a lot of pretty much any student and their
And
families.
it goes to Burke there, plus all of us.
Oh, okay, so student event will likely start at 8, so this would mean startup crew would be there at 7:30.
Volunteers. And then we can set up our telescopes, figure out where we're gonna set up the telescopes, set them up. Ready, and then when the kids.
And if you don't have a telescope, you can still come be part of it.
They have
They have
a ton of telescopes.
They have a ton of telescopes. It, might be a learning curve to use them, but
Yeah.
plenty of us there to help.
Yeah, we can, it doesn't matter what your experience is, so, you go to the astronomy in the park for 2 hours, you come to Burke for 2 hours. That's 2/5 of your way to your
Your outreach.
outreach award, and you come to the rest of these, you could have it done next month, or this.
Excellent. Yeah.
Speed round.
Okay, the Woodbine, that's, I'll let you talk.
Yeah,
about
doing
that.
two of the libraries that have joined the library telescope program are. We're gonna have star parties there at their libraries. So the first one's on the 14th. That's in Woodbine, Iowa. So it's a bit of a drive from here. So anybody who's willing to make a trek, we'd greatly appreciate it. I'll be going. We can maybe figure out carpooling or something to get more people there. It's gonna be out in the backside of the library where there's no direct street lights. It should be a moonless night, so decently dark skies out that park. Be a nice night for observing. Obviously, weather dependent, it will start at sundown, which again is gonna be 8-ish. And then, the other one is at Ralston on the 28th. That's Friday, Friday the 28th at the Ralston, the Bar 8's Public Library. That'll be on, again, on the backside of the library, away from some of the parking lot lights and. So I think it's a 2-hour event.
Isn't that right, folks?
Do some observing.
Go ahead.
We've got Kennedy STEM Night, STEAM Night, keep adding letters to that. It's at Kennedy Elementary School on 29th and Maple, and it's. I mean, technically Maple's right there, Minnie, I don't know.
Yeah, it's Binny. Essentially, it's a couple blocks north of,
If you want to figure out
Lake
how far
Street.
north it is. It's roughly Maple.
You can see it from
Google
30th
Google
Street.
Maps will show you
Yeah.
right where it's, yeah. We'll have a little booth set up. We'll have some hands-on demonstration stuff. I'm gonna try and figure out the other one we had last time. But it's a bunch of little kids walking around just wanting to touch stuff and get their little worksheet, and they go, everyone, you can sign off on them. So we'll have a little laser maze. We'll have some models of the solar system. Figure out what else we got. Anyone has any ideas for demonstration items or little stuff, worksheets? Feel free to-
Okay, I want to expand on the Earth Day.
That's a big one.
That's a biggie. There's many of you that have been that have participated in the past, and obviously we're encouraging participation this year. I will try to send an email out with all these things, but specifically for Earth Day, it basically goes from about 10 to 5 or 6 in the evening. So if you can't spend all day with us, maybe you can come early and help us set up and leave by 1:32, or if you can't come early, then come later and help us. And it's a party. It really is. I mean, there's hundreds of people show up. And if it's clear, a nice day, we will have telescopes with safe solar filters on the front of them, so that we can show the public the sun. And it's been very active here lately, so that we'll more likely we'll see plenty of sunspots. There are resident sun.
Not the last couple of days.
Now, don't tell us that. Well, we got a few weeks yet here.
Yeah, but
yeah.
then it'll surge up again.
It'll surge up again.
Yeah.
So
So it should be real good. on
I
that
will
day.
get an email blast out to you about this. And will encourage people to help sign up and help with that. I'll probably at least take a morning shift and make sure everything gets set up. I think 10:30, I think, is when we need to try to have everything set up by. Officially starts at 11 a.m. But it's a fun day. If it's not too hot and not too rainy, it can be.
Last year was good. We had a little bit of clouds, but we could still see.
We
through.
worked around the clouds and saw the sun quite a bit. We take a little time. Anything else?
You got Ralston? Did you talk about Ralston?
It's talked about the one.
A little bit Ralston.
On the
It's in the stuff.
28th, and then there is a thing through the any Sci-Fest that you can go. They're doing a walk to the moon challenge, so they're trying to get enough people to log steps that they've taken to equal however many 4 point whatever billion steps it is to the moon. And
That's clever.
so you can go in and log your steps if you're so inclined.
Does that count all steps prior to this month?
Just for the month of April.
Oh, my Fitbit numbers are pretty high.
Yeah,
It says runs from 16th Jan to 31st May.
Oh, wow.
We might make it then.
I think this is the ESA, this is not. But that's.
Any questions? Comments? Yes, Steve.
We need to sign up for this outreach.
I will get an email out. And I got everybody that's a current member now, some of you folks that have just, this is your first night, you can get us an email address, we'll make sure you're on the list.
No experience
So we-
necessary?
yes, Bill.
Are we gonna do anything with Nebraska Science Fest?
You know, there's been nothing specifically directed towards us to help them. You know, in the past, we've done events down at Durham. I've seen various things pass through Facebook and whatever about activities for the whole month.
That's on the 29th is the expo.
Are they actually talking about something down there
At Durham,
at Durham? Okay, well,
from nine to noon on the.
have you had any personal contact with anybody?
I just saw it on the list.
I know, well, they had a whole month of activities. And usually in the past, of course, we always predicate everything pre-pandemic, post-pandemic. Whether that change of personnel and they lost our contact information or what, but I'd usually get a personal email from this lady that actually, I think her day job is working at UNMC, but I haven't seen anything from her about that. So we got so much right now, I don't know whether to go soliciting new, items or not, but I'll do some checking and see. Because
That'd be an indoor booth thing, right?
typically that's what we've done in the past. Well, Kim's always, we usually had a couple telescopes set up in the parking lot. Now, in past years, we had, on Fridays, tons of kids. I mean, they would bring in like busloads, 400 or 500 kids would show up. Now, they had other activities going on for them, but they'd all come passing through our display booth and go out and look at the sun and what have you too.
If it's only 9 to noon, that's different than.
That's on Saturday, yeah, because the one
They would
on
be
Friday
busy.
was like 9 or we sometimes early as 8:30 to like 2 or 3 o'clock. And I haven't heard
Yeah, and
a
I
word
guess that's
about
when the
that
buses
one,
came.
as far as the school buses and the kids.
Yeah, because in the past, that Saturday has been an all-day thing.
Yeah, I thought so too. Yeah, so if it's
Well, and Saturday was more public. Is
for
there
the
anything,
public, yeah.
was there anything going on Friday at the Durham?
I didn't put it in my calendar.
Okay.
I gotta put this in there. I looked through all the any side fest events. That fest is part of that.
Yeah.
I know
And we-
that the, sorry, I know that the Hewitt Luminarium is opening up next week. Have we heard from them about anything?
I'm waiting for calls from them on something, but
Yeah,
nothing about doing any partnerships.
any partnership.
With them as this time. When last I spoke to Anthony Galdamez, who's programming manager there, they weren't interested in doing it. They got enough on their plate, just getting going.
There's also things going on out at SAC too, in the SAC Museum. The Strategic Air Command Aerospace Museum. And there again, there's only so much of us, even with, we really haven't gone out knocking on doors. Hey, would you like an astronomy program? But on my list is to reconnect with the SACM Museum. And so, as most of you probably know, somebody may not, the current director out there is Nebraska's only astronaut. Clayton Anderson is now director out there, and I've sort of considered him a personal friend, so I talked to him there in December, and he's got so many things on his plate that really.
Lovely telescopes.
Oh, they got some telescopes that need to be put in use, but yeah.
Thank you.
Anyway, what else? Anything?
Quick question. Do we need to do any library telescope work this month?
No.
Okay, so no event for the 15th. Thank you.
Two, I just.
I wouldn't mind going to Woodbine if I had a.
Okay. Great, thank you, gentlemen. Scope loan program. Need to put this on a pedal. Like a wooden dowel.
Yeah.
Like Gene Rayburn on Match Game. That's good. I didn't get this necessarily all the way updated, but I did my best.
Well, that's fine, we'll fix it. But anyway, if you're religiously following this list, you'll notice there's some new toys on it. We got donation of I don't even have it on mine, bad list. Anyway, we
Orion
have
20 by 80.
Orion 20 by 80 binoculars, which were donated to us by the Bellevue Library System, if I remember correctly. I have yet to play with them, but Mike Moderson was the receiver of them. They have binoculars and supposedly a fine tripod with them as well, so. 11 by 80 binoculars, meanwhile, ours checked out. Yeah. There was a little bit more churn after the request for input for the Stella, so. The 4SE came back in, went right back out. And the person who took that out left us the 6-inch silver dot. 6-inch silver Dobsonian, which is available for takeout. And I believe I mentioned this last month, we had an extension on the Celestron 130. So. A little bit of activity now that the weather is getting warmer. And there's a number of these you see that will go to checked out and say available now. Those are longer term checkouts. If you're interested, let me know and I will do my best to get them back. So.
Is the Coronado checked out? Yeah,
Yes, it is.
so that's not me. I gotta take myself off that list.
Yeah.
That's not me.
Yeah, I need to do a lot of rechecking and updating. So the reason that this is not quite as up to par as usual, as I noticed in my sent email that some of the things I thought I put in for changing didn't quite get there, so. Okay, let's see. The Mead 2080 and the 13-inch truss, they're gonna be down starting for a little while for repair. I need to get the secondary recoded on one and basically redo the base on the other, kind of like we did with the 10-inch, so. And that's about it for the scope 1 report.
Thank you, Stafford. Jordan, can you hear me, Jordan?
Yep, I can hear you.
Can you give
Hello?
us a preview?
Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Just making sure. Had a little sound issue on my end earlier. Yes, so quick preview. This gentleman, Dr. Travis Fisher from the Space Science Telescope Institute, he gave a presentation back at the beginning of March. They hold, I think, monthly presentations for the public, but I was able to join this one. A really interesting talk on his experience at the Space Telescope Institute and some of the work that they're doing with data from the James Webb Space Telescope and some of the surveys they're doing, a specific survey that they'll mention in this, but he looks at active galaxies, massive galaxies, kind of far off in the distant universe but that emit tons of energy, and kind of what James Webb is able to see now with the new data and kind of what they're doing with the data and what they hope to see in the future. So it's a really nice presentation tonight where he gives a breakdown for people who may not have a lot of background in galactic or universal science and all the different things that go into that. And then he eventually does get into all of the fun stuff about the galaxies themselves. So that's looking forward to tonight's program, and then we have some fun things coming up in the next few months as well. So, yeah.
Great, thanks, Jordan.
Yep.
So stay tuned for that in a few minutes.
Mhm.
Are there any tool times?
Actually, I'll do one.
You want to do one? Okay.
Just real quick, I brought a book along. It's the field guide to the annular eclipse in 2023 and the total solar eclipse in 2024. So if you'd like to browse through it tonight and just look at the paths and kind of plan out where you want to be during those eclipses, I have this book in the back and you're welcome to look through it.
Cool. Thank you, Phil. Let's take
about a 5-minute break and then we'll get, or 10-minute break and we'll get into our program. Quarter after. Sounds good. Okay.
I got to see. Look at it, it's like, what? I know, because I did not about it. That's for a lot of hours, but not.
Light switch. Good evening, everybody. I'm gonna make Jordan.
John, are we recording the second part? Yes, we are.
Yes.
Are we okay,
Did you want me not to?
I don't know. Jordan?
Hmm?
Do you want this portion recorded on Zoom or is it a link you're gonna attach later or?
It'll be a link on the Google Drive. It won't be on YouTube at all. So if we want to record it, we can. Otherwise,
Okay.
people can also go watch it again, I guess, via the OAS Google Drive.
I could, let's not record it considering it was a conference. And
Yeah.
then
Mhm.
we can just make the file available with a link in Discord. That would work out, so.
That sounds good. Also, I was like, well, recording a video is
Yeah, that's
harder.
the point, so.
So just wanted to check. So I'll pause the recording again.
Yep, pause the recording and.
Advantage. We've got a lot to get through tonight.
Yeah.
What? You betcha. I'll try to go fast as I can. Okay, let's get going. Secretary's brief. Should we just try to pull it up?
If you can pull it up, that'll probably work best.
All right.
Hard to use the microphone.
Amazing that we have all this stuff. Yep.
On Zoom a few times. I haven't seen her.
I'm just gonna pull it up.
She's still.
We're just gonna go through it.
And used to set up the finger and so you can't know your secrets.
Since we have.
Since we have so many things to go through tonight, the business meeting, I'm gonna pull up the minutes on the screen. And I can't really make that much bigger, can
I
I?
don't know if they were at
The other ones.
Yeah, it depends. That's being transmitted and this is local,
Yeah, I'm sorry.
so. We met here on March 3rd. There were 3 guests and 1 on Zoom. There are 30 members present. No awards last month. The presentation for Sonali, she was out. Talked about the full moon in spring coming up. We talked about our outreach events coming up on Tuesday, March 14th, which was a really good night, actually. It's a good amount of us there. Metro Science and Engineering Fair, unfortunately, that didn't have any presentations. Library Telescope Zoom training sessions held on March 23rd, that go okay?
What?
The Library Telescope Zoom training session on March 23rd.
Yes, yep, there's 7 or 8 people on that one and 1 person for the Saturday one.
We talked about the upcoming event in Woodbine. The Messier Marathon was going to be the 18th with the rain date of the 25th. And as everybody remembered, we had bad weather for both nights. There was a free lecture on archaeoastronomy at the Chaco Canyon. It was at UNO on Tuesday, March 7th. I'm sure a number of you went to it.
What? Number of us did, yeah.
Yep.
A few of us. It was a very good.
UNO has a balloon launch project for the 23 and 24 solar eclipses. Stafford gave telescope loan program. Leonard gave a talk on his trip to do the asteroid occultation. Thank you. Jordan gave a program with Rob Teeter. And then the secretary's minutes was read out, and then there was a treasurer's report. You can see those numbers on the screen there. Vice President was given by Steve. He was going to create a list. He created a list of 8 firms. So stay tuned for that tonight on the land survey. And there was going to be a work day at Astro Park on April 1st. There was. And we discussed about repairs on the shed. Old business, no updates on the fleet. There's a Missouri committee meeting coming up in April, and that's tomorrow. I did create a members only calendar, however, I need to work on getting that up there, so that's in the minutes. New business was registration for the 30th annual Nebraska Star Party. Eric encouraged everybody to come. Rita asked if the club could pay for club officers registered for Missouri and Alcon in order to encourage their attendance. That might be a good idea. We'll discuss further after more research has been done. Then we did the final draft of the budget. What? That seems odd. Motion to close the business meeting was made by Steve, seconded by Bill. Okay. You
Motion to accept the minutes as presented.
Bill,
Second.
who seconded? Mike Motorson. The motion has been made and seconded to accept the minutes as read. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Thank you. Treasurer's report. You need to read it from here?
Yeah, really, there's not much to say.
No, just dues, 5273. Expense, 94 Astro Park Lighthouse Service. An ending account balance of 15,688.79.
When was that serviced?
I don't have the date here. I paid the bill in the last month.
There wasn't much in there, but they normally write it down inside, and I didn't see them write anything besides August.
Yeah. Couldn't tell you when it was serviced, sorry.
That's okay.
Not to get too
Curious.
involved, but
Didn't look great when we were down there.
yeah. Vice President's report.
Okay, I went ahead and called the different firms for survey. I got 3 responses, of which the best one was Allied Surveying and Mapping. For $1,500, they can place flags at all corners of the property. They can locate all the pins. They can file a new survey record, and they include mileage with that total. And they can schedule as soon as 1 week out. That was $1,500. That would be the bid I would go with based on cost and also availability. The second bid was comparable in cost, about $1,200 to $1,500, but they're scheduling 3 weeks out. And the third bid wanted $2,000, but they can only schedule 6 to 8 weeks out. Nobody else responded. So I'm going with Allied Surveying and Mapping on this one.
Okay.
And just need to know how to formalize the bid and obligate the funds. We can get them out there.
Since this is not in the budget, there'll need to be a motion made.
I'll move that we spend the $1,500 approximately to survey the property and get that taken care of in the next month, I would say.
Yes.
Second. Mike Motorson seconds. That's a really long thing you said. Motion has been made to spend approximately $1,500 to do the land survey for Astro Park within the next month. Seconded, or say, motion by Cleet, seconded by Mike. All those in favor of this motion, please.
Let's have a little discussion.
Okay.
Let's just explain to maybe some of the other members why we felt this was necessary. Who wants to?
I can
So-
go ahead and explain. The reason why is because the farmer whose land we are on has been gradually encroaching on our property.
Well, they're
line.
adjacent to our property.
Yeah, adjacent to our property, has been gradually encroaching on our property line. In particular, there's some tile drainage on the northeast corner that is starting to undermine our easement. And we want to have the property line established and so we can put up new fences, preferably before planting starts. So we can assert our boundaries and we won't have as many problems in the future. It's also preferable from a safety standpoint in terms of liability. Somebody wandering from our site onto his property and gets hurt, that could be a problem. So it's useful to us on a number of levels, but mainly to ensure that we establish where our property is and where it is not, and we can go ahead with further improvements from there. The land, as far as I can tell, has not been surveyed in some time. The original property description was filed in 1978. So it would help to have some updated, an updated description in the county files in case anybody wants to question it.
Agreed.
Are we gonna put a new fencing up?
Yes, the eventual plan is to repair and replace the fencing.
You would want to do that pretty soon though, wouldn't you? 'Cause
Yeah, we
otherwise
need
you're
the
gonna
survey
pull your
first.
stakes out, maybe you continue on.
Well, we need the survey first, so we know
Right,
where
but
to do the
the
fence.
farmer will remove the stakes right away and just continue on. if you don't
Well, that's why we have
want
it filed with the county, so we can assert our claim if need be.
Right.
What's our plan? Do we need to approve a budget for fencing? To immediately follow the survey? I mean, we should, as soon as we get it, we know where stuff's at, we should get out there and schedule
what
a
I would
work
say.
day.
Yes.
Are we talking chain link?
What kind of fence?
No, have to be barbed wire. Posts and wire. Just farm, typical farm fence.
Like bomb guards or
Yeah,
tractor
steel-
supply
steel
companies.
posts.
Yeah.
Doesn't have to be fancy, it just
T-post
to be there.
T-post and
Cows
tractor
out.
supply are
What happened
five,
last summer apparently when the cows wandered into the property.
Mhm.
$5.50 a piece for a T-post at Tractor Supply. We would need many. We'd probably put them 10 feet apart.
Well, that would be another, once we have property lines, we can measure that, determine how far apart they are and then how much wire.
Yeah, but I would.
If there's really an issue with cows, we probably need 3 lines of barbed wire on the fence. If it's just people, it could be a line or 2 of even straight wire. But if there's really cows out there at any time of the year, then. you
Yeah,
need
they
enough to
routinely put them in
hold
there
up.
in the fall and the winter to eat up whatever's left in the field.
Do we have anything in the budget for? Astro Park maintenance? I thought-
There's $1,000 for Astro Park.
Okay,
The fence would probably.
so technically that.
Fence would probably be about $1,000, I would think. Or less.
So we technically have money that could cover that. Not, I mean, I agree, I'm all for the, I just want to make sure everybody understands what we're doing and
Yeah.
why.
And then.
Well, and we wouldn't have to initially do the whole fence, just the corners where
Yeah,
the markers are. would
Really
be
just the 2 on the side with the farm is the only
Right.
ones
Yeah.
that are of concern.
Any place you think he's gonna go over past the line?
Yeah, just
Yeah, that area.
from the
where-
road.
But if we
You can
define.
start
if
that
we
with
define the line,
posts.
Mhm.
Then we can add 2.
anybody know where we could get a telephone pole?
No,
Hello, PP.
I got them all over town.
Know anybody know PPD?
Not anybody.
Even the
Transfer.
railroad tie would work and there's just a few down the road. I mean,
That's true. But the scope of the land survey would be kind of reaffirming what we've got. And laying that claim and making sure that it continues.
And then if he balks at it, then you have the legal standing to say.
Yeah,
of course. It might not be a bad idea once we get the property lines and have the assessment done, have those boundaries set and recorded with the county.
yeah, that's part of the service.
To then probably have the president make a friendly call to the farmer
Or at least a letter. under our-
and just say that we have had this assessment done.
Mhm.
We have registered with the county.
The property lines, the
And
property
the
lines are
post-
already established.
Right,
All
but
we're
he's
doing
been
is gonna put a
infringing on
Fence in
right,
to define them
yes.
on the ground.
Yeah.
Because
But it'd be
property's
nice if
not-
the farmer
property
knew
line's
about the
not gonna
fence
change from what we've already
before
got.
he showed up.
Right,
And the
So-
owner of the
We can send
land
them a
could be
courtesy
different than the farmer doing the work.
Right.
right.
Right. So I would, you start with the owner of the land, because maybe the owner of the land needs to talk with the farmer if that's a farm rental situation.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that's
Not
just
just
the nice
me.
country way to do things,
Yeah.
Send them a certified letter.
is to have a conversation
Yeah,
with your facts in hand.
Might also want to have somebody down there when that survey is done and those
Yes.
flags are placed, so you know exactly
Yeah.
where
this-
they are,
yeah, the
because
surveyor
So that
if
nobody
somebody
moves
sees
them.
those flags,
They take a
they're
video.
coming
Take
out.
pictures.
Right.
Right.
And
Right.
pictures, video, whatever.
Take
I'd be
pictures
willing to
or.
do that. I just need to set up the date and clear my schedule for it, so.
Sure.
Question?
Okay.
yes.
I call the question.
Yeah, call the question. Yeah.
We've recognized Louis.
I'm calling the
He
question.
wants us to vote,
Yeah.
Oh,
to vote.
calling
Call
the
the
vote
vote.
now.
You know.
Yeah,
Carly-
call
he's
the
You
getting-
just
question.
said the word question.
You know,
So,
Carly Pro on us.
Yeah.
over here.
Well, the
That's
vote was a
Robert's rules of
question,
okay,
yay or nay.
Robert's Rules of order.
I'm getting this.
All in favor?
All those in favor of us spending approximately $1,500 to the land survey for Astro Park, please say aye. All those opposed? Thank you.
We'll call first thing Monday.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you,
Thanks, Steve.
Steve.
Thank you, Steve.
Good job.
It's
Do you need anybody to go out there with you to, when the surveyors come?
I should be fine.
Take a gun.
I got a nice big machete. It tends to intimidate people.
As much as a gun.
So part of what we did with the workday is we did a lot of cleanup out at Astro Park. Most of the bushes and bramble that was on the west side is pretty much gone.
All around the parking area.
All around the trees, you can sit under the tree without running into a branch.
I think Chuck could walk under there without hitting his head.
Yes. And we've established a bunch of reflector poles around the property. Try to guide the mowing to this is what we kind of want to mow. We may need to talk to our mower about that. And we also, this picture, it looks like a hole, is the culvert, and these greenish blue things are the tilings from the field. So there's holes in the field where the runoff water goes through those pipes and then through the culvert into the ditch area. Or the gully, is a better word for it.
Okay.
The mosquito farm.
It could be a mosquito farm. We checked the inside of the culvert. It is completely clean. There's nothing backed up in it,
Good.
in the big one. The small one, not so much. That one's a little bit farther to the west of the big one. The big one's in that first corner.
Mhm.
We put new reflector poles around it, so it's a bit easier. The two people you see in the picture on the middle bottom, those are two of our astrophotographers. That's Troy and John. And one thing that they put on Discord was that they love Astro Park. And they wanted to see it maintained and wanted to help out. There's a lot of usage for them out there and they just love it. So,
Well, we have it.
yes. It's been a lot of uptick over the last several years and it's a nice place. I really like it.
So what is the Bortle scale of Astro?
We haven't done an SQM reading for a while. We probably need to do another one out there.
I have a meter.
Who all has meters? You guys do? We have one meter. Guess we'll have to venture out.
We probably have to average out over a couple months. It might be, well, to the north, you're gonna see glow from Omaha,
Mhm.
right?
Might be.
To the southwest, no.
Northwest.
I'm thinking of the Martin Marietta quarry.
Oh, yeah, southwest.
Northwest is gonna be nutrient. That's not too bad.
That's gonna be Weeping Water too.
Yeah. Those aren't too bad. But still, some of the pictures they're producing up are pretty good. I'm not as well versed in the portal skill to comment on it.
Well, SQS ratings are more objective, Wordle is very subjective.
Yeah.
I haven't
Yeah.
done those
Based
two
on
in the
visual
portal skill
observations.
comparisons.
But Bill's used it a lot. He finished his Herschel stuff out there.
It's a great site.
It's
Yeah.
darker than Omaha.
Yeah. Do a lot of stuff out there.
So there was some discussion there on Saturday about at some point possibly getting another pad, because there are nights where all the pads are full, which is a nice thing to have.
Yeah.
So I kind of envision like maybe over a couple years doing various improvements. Mike, you did some measurements on that one shed, didn't you?
Yeah.
We're gonna try to work up something to try to enclose it to make it an actual storage shed. Cause it's not really useful for a roll-off roof, that specific one. And that shouldn't be too much, but just,
$100 for some sheet goods and.
yeah.
What do we use those storage sheds for?
We have some tables and a grill in there. There's also a new emergency kit that the Astrophoto guys have put together. It has like a jump starter and a tire inflator. It's like, cause somebody got stuck out there not long ago and they thought that they just kind of put it together themselves.
I think
So-
there's also some tables and benches
Yeah,
in there too.
And charcoal.
in charcoal and lighter fluid.
I have to clean my garages out and if I have some lawn furniture, folding chairs and stuff that I use for camping, could I donate them to the site?
Sure.
Cause that way, if people forgot chairs or if people,
Yeah.
extra people.
Common occurrence.
That'd help me out.
That would be great. Thank you.
Yes, thanks.
Well, now I live in an apartment and my balcony thing it's just not big enough to all those chairs, so
Sure.
I'll go through them.
I mean, you have potential improvements, the fence, obviously, like, it's gonna be $1,000, maybe a little less. For
We've got that
Poles-
gentleman
poles and
who
wire.
offered to do help too. We probably need to put some rock around the drainage area to prevent erosion.
If we wanted to re-rock the road, that's probably $10,000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I don't know that it was that much.
It was the last that I just did, I did a rough estimate. It was like $7,000 for rock and then however much to get somebody in there with a front end loader or something to push it around, grade it out.
Is that to do the entire road?
That would be the whole deal. If I
Road's in pretty good shape. That's the guy with the truck.
Not the person with the car who got stuck but then they weren't on the road.
That was snow.
It was also snow working.
They were stuck in the snow, yeah.
Rocking roads, not.
We should have a separate Astro Park.
That was actually a bunch of snow too, so.
So we've got some ideas, we're working to
Yeah.
put them together. So. Thanks, Louis. We didn't have any work on the prairie stem thing, did we?
I've emailed Alan twice and he hasn't replied.
Now, you
back
know,
to
I
me.
saw him like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, if you hit him up on that AVX deal, see if they wanna.
Okay.
Hopefully he'll be at. Them night again. Team night.
Yes. Pretty sure. And then Misrule committee is tomorrow. Woohoo!
Thank you.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you. Nice meeting you.
Nice to meet you.
These are Misrule people.
Tomorrow at the brain exchange.
Yep,
I'll be a little bit late, but I'll be there.
I think I emailed David that information.
Kenny.
Just looking to establish a rough skeleton and of meeting times and stuff.
That third Saturday is available. Any new business?
Keep it really quiet. Maybe
We
maybe
talked
opposed.
about a club star party.
Yes. When would you like to do it?
Oh, well, that's,
I'd like to at least have 1 or 2 months in the Stella announcement rather than like it shows out the same month as the Stella. So people have time
So
to
we're
plan.
already looking at June.
Yeah,
we can try one in May.
May, I mean, we could do it in May too. It's not a problem.
Do that on Discord.
I can send a separate email out too, but Discord works.
Let's go over June.
We could do one each month,
Okay,
New moon is the 19th of May.
19th of May,
So the 20th would be good.
Saturday, the 20th.
Yeah.
That's good. At Astro Park. Star party?
Is that like barbecue and then star party?
Sure. I originally,
Yes.
like in January of 2020, I said we should do quarterly stuff. And then pandemic happened.
Then we couldn't do it.
You messed.
It happened to lots of us.
So maybe we'll get back into that swing of things for quarterly out at Astro Park would be kind of nice. We did 2 picnics last year. Both of them are a little cold. But we had them, by golly.
I went to one.
So we're saying tentatively the 20th of May.
20th of May. You want to schedule one in June?
Sure.
17th?
Now is question.
Yeah.
On May real quick. Or anything.
Okay,
Is
Mahoney,
we're Mahoney.
It's Mahoney.
Mahoney, we're trying to, at least the first
That's the
few ones,
26th.
yeah, to do them
is what I
on
have.
first quarter, so yeah.
Okay,
May
That sounds good.
26th with the rain date, the 27th for,
awesome. All right, I'm not interfering
we're
with.
not interfering with that.
Okay.
So it's still the 20th of May?
Yes.
20th of May,
What was June?
17th would probably. The week before the Mahoney. The when is the Mahoney one?
Mike, you got something about
There's a Bellevue Library Star Party on the 17th
Okay.
of June. Not that.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yes, we
New moon
split.
is the 17th.
Would be nice to do it. Sunset would be what?
Mhm.
9:15?
9th or 10th.
Well, that's the Misrule.
So what day are we?
Who's, yeah, we're gonna talk about who's going to Misrule.
And we bring food and stuff.
I don't know if I can go.
And I don't know if I can either.
If it- My summer's still way up in the air.
So is mine.
Before sunset. I have dates that have keep been changing on me, even this morning, as to like when certain projects of mine are gonna be.
Well, if, you know, the 17th, I mean, that would be the ideal night to have it, but we'll just see how many people we'd need for.
Well, and some will go to that and some will
Yeah.
go to Bellevue.
Yeah.
You get choices.
Those people who don't wanna drive all the way south, they go to.
Yeah.
go to Bellevue.
Drive less south.
Yeah. That's
We
fine.
could skip June and go in like September. If you are doing the library 2 months in a row is,
You want September?
2 months in a row is a little much.
Okay.
July is NSP.
Okay.
Yeah.
July is NSP, so
August is hotter than
Is what?
hot.
warm. For anybody that does the outreach for the library Ones that you have to pick or choose. You can either use it for your outreach award or you can use it for your library telescope award, but not.
Sure.
For the.
What do you got for September at Mahoney? September at Mahoney is the 22nd, 23rd. New moon is the 14th. That's a Thursday. Well,
16th?
2 day, you're gonna see a 2 day old moon. It's gonna set shortly after sunset.
So September 16th, that Saturday?
Mhm.
When did you say new moon was?
14th.
Yeah, that'd be fine. Cool.
September 14th.
Thursday? Yes, sir.
So if May 20th doesn't work out, maybe June 17th will be the, June.
Yeah, we could have a
will be the-
back-
Alternate,
will Be the second date.
the rain date?
Let's just say that one doesn't work out. Keep that June 17th in mind anyway.
Okay. You gonna be out of town?
Pardon me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be out of town.
Israel?
Oh, that's early in the month, though, isn't it?
That's-
That's
ninth.
eight,
Ninth.
isn't it?
Previous.
Ninth?
Eighth and ninth. I am going to that, yes.
Okay. They let me work in Oklahoma, I can go.
You know, Bob Wenzel is interested in going.
Okay.
I don't know, if he takes his big pickup there before, if I took my pickup there before,
That's fine. Any
I
other?
don't know how he wants to do it, I haven't really talked to him, he's just said he was on the PBAO, so he was interested in going. So I gotta reach out to him. And it's, you know, it's all gonna depend on. if I work.
17th of June.
Events.
Are you talking?
I think that's what it was, wasn't it?
Yeah, possibly. Bob Wenzel's interested. Yeah.
Yeah, 17th of June.
It's like alternate.
He said schedule. I've got an interview on Monday for a job, so I don't know. I don't have to worry about that. I have to worry about other things. Yeah.
I mentioned earlier, like if you happen to be at Astro Park on the 21st, 22nd for the lyrics. Might be nice. You don't want to stay up all night and then try to do. Earth Day all day,
Birthday.
that might be a bit much.
Speaking of other things, since we're
Do you want to talk about
among,
NSP?
well, I can just a little bit.
I don't think we have any more new business.
Let me think. Those that also wear NSP hats. Or have interest in NSP. Anybody else want to venture down to Morrill Hall this next Saturday, the 15th?
Where?
What's happening at?
Is it UNO?
At Morrill Hall in Lincoln.
Oh, sorry.
They're trying to,
I'm getting that confused with Mammal Hall.
the lady that's trying to get things rolling down there again is scheduled a whatever she called it,
Is it tourism?
an event. A star
Space.
something. Have you picked up on any of it, Mike?
It's just, I saw it on Facebook that it was
Yeah.
something I might be interested in. I was
Okay.
thinking I might go, but.
Well, okay, good, because most of the NSP people, other than you folks, are headed out of town. Including a lot of them from Lincoln, a lot of the PAC members. So,
Did you get deputized?
so I'm trying to find other people. Well, Mike, yeah, you just volunteered.
What time is this thing?
It's an evening thing. From 5:30 to 8:30. It's basically an indoor thing like we do at SAC or whatever.
No, the 15th of July?
No, 15th next,
April.
Oh,
a week from tomorrow.
Yeah, there's a planetarium show, free planetarium.
Planetarium show, and then Michael Sibrenson with the Branch Oak Observatorial will be doing things there too.
Woodbine on the 14th.
Yeah, you guys, yeah,
See, and
right.
you know, we try to go to the Iowa stuff because we're in Iowa.
yeah. So I'm not
So
excited.
I'm thinking we'll try to do that.
So,
I might be able to go, but I'll have to change, another,
okay, well, I'll put something out then.
Yeah. I have tickets to Omaha Community Playhouse, but I'm sure I can change.
I was hoping that some more of our NSP, not you guys, kind of, it'd be a longer ways for you.
No,
but,
no, it's Lincoln,
No, it's like-
but no, I hadn't planned on I'd seen that, cause I saw Jack send it
Yeah.
out, and I looked at it and thought that that wasn't something we would do this time.
And it was directed towards NSP, not necessarily OAS, so that's why I didn't really put it on the
No, anybody
OAS
can
calendar.
come.
But if anybody's interested.
Yeah.
We'll send a little blurb out on that.
Is there an NSP hoodie?
Is there a way?
An NSP hoodie? It's
No.
a joke as the like the OAS hoodie we sent with letter.
Yeah,
It's like,
we had
here's your badge.
we had the,
Sweatshirt.
the NSP.
We got a
well,
sweatshirt.
We have NSP golf shirts.
Yes.
We do, don't we?
General public.
Anyway, okay.
You know, convert motion to adjourn with that look? Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Bill.
I know that look.
Eve, Con.
Run that.
The motion is made and seconded to adjourn the business meeting. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Yay, now we can still talk. Thanks, everybody. Hey,
There is an admission cost, so that I'm thinking.
It's a place down in